The first card you have for your past is the Four of Swords. Oh yeah, the other thing I didn't tell you, sorry. The other thing I didn't tell you is this lighting is a bit weird because my light blew above this table. I'm having a fantastic time. The light blew above this table, so I didn't have another one, and I just put a lamp next to this table. So I hope you can see. Yes, I'm going to start this reading. Yeah, the first card you have for your past is the Four of Swords. So yeah, this isn't very. I'm seeing you trying to relax, but maybe you couldn't quite relax properly. That's what I'm seeing in this card. Yeah, I'm just looking at these swords. The swords are really standing out to me in this card. I think maybe someone really hurt you, and I think you were mostly over things. I think you really were, but I think that there might have still been a lot of questions around this person. I think this was probably a relationship. And I think a lot of things that happened at this time when you were with this person that didn't make any sense to you. I think you were kind of trying to make sense of it all. I think I'm actually seeing you were with someone who might have actually just changed overnight, or they seem to change overnight. And you were just like, what happened to them? Why did they change? What made them suddenly go from this one person to this other kind of person? And you're kind of trying to rest, but you're trying to kind of also get your head around all of these things and ask why. And I think, you have moved on, or you had moved on at this time. And I think you had someone around you, a new love, actually, who was much better for you. But maybe some of these old hurts might have been drifting into your new relationship. I don't think you meant to do that. I think it might have just been seeping into your new relationship without you kind of meaning it, without you meaning that to happen, or without you even realizing maybe. The man on this card, obviously he's resting, he's in a peaceful place, but yeah, these big swords are still hanging over his head. And to me, swords come up as words a lot of the time. So, this ex might have said some pretty nasty things to you as well. And I think these things probably ate into your confidence quite a lot. And you know this, I think your head knows this, but you're not what they said you were, not at all. You're you, and you're much better than that. So just remember that you're not any of those things if their words, if their nasty words are still going around in your head at this time now. And I think, this new person isn't anything like your ex. I can see that if this is all resonating with you. I think they really see the value in you, actually. Because the man in this card, he's actually a statue, and the statue's golden. It's made of gold. So you mean a lot to them. You mean a lot to this person, and you're very precious and you're very valuable to them, just like gold. So don't forget that. Try not to let your insecurities push them away, and try not to let these old words that this ex has said to you push them away either, even if you don't mean to. Try and kind of get a handle on what they said. Think about what they said, and then kind of say, well, that's not true. I know it isn't true. I'm going to push that out of my mind. I know it's hard to do, but if you work on it, you can do it. And also don't go round and round in your head with, why did they do this? Why did they say this? Why did they act like this? You can do that forever, and you might never find out why it was. And really, if you've got a new person, you're happy and you're over this, it doesn't matter now. I know these things can eat away at you, but really, when you think about it on a practical level, what use is it of even knowing why? If you know why they did something or said something, what does that do? It's not going to change what's happened. I know that sounds quite brutal, but that's just what I'm seeing. And I think at this time you're a lot happier than when you're around this ex. Obviously, I mean, you would be. There was still a lot of mixed emotions inside of you, and a lot of confusion as well, because I think, you were still trying to get your head around what had happened. But try not to think about that. Try not to worry about why they said this or did that, because it's not going to do anything. It's not going to make any difference. And again, I'm sorry about all those people outside. Again, I can't do anything about them. The next card you have for your past is Strength. So I think you were trying to work on yourself at this time. I think you were trying to tame your emotions, or maybe I should say you're trying to work on your emotions. And I think as you keep on doing this, as you keep on working on these emotions and working on yourself, I think things are going to start to improve for you. I think you're going to kind of eventually give up on trying to kind of analyze this old relationship and work out what went wrong and what happened and all of that. And, you know, this is going to take time, obviously. Sometimes things that happened, sometimes words that people have said can stay with us for years sometimes. And sometimes they can stay with us subconsciously without us realizing it. Sometimes these words can be in our minds telling us that we're not good enough or that we can't do things. You know, you are good enough. You can do things. Obviously, all of these things are not true. Your head knows that, but it's just a matter of your emotions kind of catching up with that. I think this person who hurt you might have also discarded quite a few other people as well, actually. And I hate to use the word discarded, but that's I think that's what they did. I think they left you behind, feeling bewildered, lost, all of those things. I think there are a lot of people who have felt the way that you have felt, and maybe they still are. They might still be feeling like that, I'm seeing. This person has a lot of ghosts. They have a lot of ghosts around them that they've kind of left behind, but they're still kind of haunting them. They're still in their head. And, you know, it might have looked as if things were fine for them when you separated from them. Maybe it still does now. Maybe they still have all these nice pictures on social media, enjoying these meals out. Maybe they look fantastic. Maybe they're on holiday, doing all these fun things. But actually, they were carrying around a lot of these ghosts in their head. They probably still are. And they're carrying around the regret that they had around you in their head as well. That's what I'm seeing. And yeah, if you've ever wondered if they ever thought about you, they did. And I think they still do. And I think they still have a lot of regret about what happened. But I don't think you're going to find that out. I don't think you're going to get any closure from them. But just take it from me that here is your closure now, if that's what you're wanting. Move forward, please. The last card you have for your past is the Moon. So yeah, this card is about difficult emotions. It can be about dreaming, it can be about nightmares, it can be about illusions even. So this is about this ex again. I know I'm talking about them again, I'm sorry about that. But yeah, they were really thinking about you. They really were. They had a lot of remorse around this. I can't see that they wanted to go backwards. I can't see they wanted to try and connect with you again, or anyone else actually. But, you know, a lot was going on in their mind. I think they were trying to come out of this heaviness, trying to come out of this dark water like this lobster is trying to do. But I think the things that they'd said and the things that they'd done, everything that had happened was kind of echoing through their mind, making a lot of noise in their head, like this dog and this wolf barking. I think they had a lot of voices telling them, oh, you've done that, you bad person, this, that, and the other thing, bark, 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 and howl, 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 and everything. And that's what's going on in their head, as well as all of these ghosts kind of going around in their head. Poor person, they've got all this stuff going around in their head, but they really did hurt you. They really did hurt you, and this is what happens when you hurt people. Anyone who thinks that someone has hurt someone and gotten away with it and they feel fine and happy, it is not the case. They always have a lot of regret. They always have this going around in their head. Seriously, I really do think that, and I really do see that happening all the time. And I think this person definitely has a lot of choices to make as well. They could do what they've always done. They could move on to a new love, a new person, like they've always done before many times. They just discard, move on, all of that kind of thing. I'm really seeing that pattern happening over and over again with them. Or they could choose to examine themselves and examine their life and look back over their life properly, look back over things as if they're up in one of these watchtowers looking down over everything, seeing their life in front of them, seeing everything that's happened and looking back over things and really kind of trying to change things and trying to change themselves. But I really can't see that happening at this time. That might happen in the future, but at this time I don't think this is really going to happen for this person. The first card you have for your present is the Wheel of Fortune. So, yeah, things are starting to change for you. They're starting to change for you in a really positive way. I'm seeing honesty in this card. You're not being dishonest with your partner, but I think you might not be sharing a lot of your insecurities with them. So, yeah, that's understandable, but I'm just getting this feeling that they'd love to know what your true feelings are. I know this ex left you feeling very vulnerable and very upset and all of that, but this new person is completely different to them. And I'm just seeing the difference between you and your ex. Okay, don't be angry, cross-watchers. This is what I'm seeing. You're not perfect, obviously, nobody is, but you're willing to examine yourself. You're willing to examine yourself and your life, and you're willing to look at, where you've gone wrong. And they haven't been able to do that, I'm seeing. I keep on seeing them jumping from one person to the next person, chasing that kind of honeymoon feeling. And when that fades, and it always does to some extent, not completely, but it always does a little bit. You always come down off that huge high. And they try to, when that kind of fades, they try to kind of run away and find someone else. And, I don't want to say any more about them. They might be coming up in this reading because maybe they're thinking about you, maybe you're thinking about them. And I'm seeing that you were in the Four of Swords. But yes, they can turn things back around for themselves if they want to. They can get themselves out of these old cycles. If they're willing to, learn from their past, they can, and they're willing to learn from their mistakes. But at this time, I don't think they are willing to do that. So I think this Wheel of Fortune is going to continue to spin for them in the opposite direction that they'd like to, while they're not learning from their mistakes. That's what I'm seeing. The next card you have for your present is the King of Pentacles. So this is about you. And I think this is about you eventually being able to master yourself. So you're on the Wheel of Fortune spinning in the kind of positive way, and they're kind of on the Wheel of Fortune spinning in the kind of negative way. That's what I'm seeing about this ex. But yes, you're going to be able to master yourself. This is about getting yourself into the best position that you possibly can, not just in your career, not just in work or business, even though this is the King of Pentacles. That's part of it. But a lot of this self-mastery is internal. And once you have this self-confidence, this kind of self-knowing, like this king, everything else in your life is going to kind of radiate out from that self-confidence, if that makes sense. So it's like once you've got to this level, and you will get to that level, because I'm seeing that you are going to, I'm seeing that in the Wheel of Fortune, and it's right above this card, you're going to just be able to open up and just realize that you deserve good things. You're not going to carry around this anxiety with you anymore. And that's going to really be positive in your relationship as well. And, I'm also seeing there's one specific thing that you've always wanted to manifest for a long, long time. This is money related. This king has red roses all around his crown. And these red roses represent manifestation. They can represent romance as well, but in this, they represent manifestation. And this king he also has a lot of fine vine leaves and grapes all over him. So you are going to be able to manifest this. It's going to take some time because grapes take a long time to grow and they take a long time to harvest and be made into wine and all of that kind of thing. But it is going to happen. It is going to happen. I can see that. And I think this might have actually been in your last reading as well, being able to manifest something or achieve something that you've always wanted to. And you are going to do that. This is in here as well. So you are going to do that. The last card you have for your present is the Three of Pentacles. So yes, this thing that you want to manifest, and you are going to do that. I can see that over and over again. You might have to be assessed in some way for that. You might have to be in front of a panel of people or something like that. You are going to have to either propose something to these people, or you're going to have to try to convince them to agree with what you want or something like that. It might be about asking for some kind of financial backing or something like that. It might be a loan. But again, or it might be kind of you're auditioning for something, or, something, applying for something. This is going to take time, I'm seeing, but don't give up. I can see that you're going to have eventual success, but you're going to have to keep trying and trying and trying. You might have to have several meetings with these people, or you might have to propose this to some other people as well. I am seeing setbacks in this, but that's normal. I mean, nothing ever runs perfectly. It might be that you have to think creatively to try to come up with different things to get around something, but you will do it eventually. And I am seeing that, you are going to have these knockbacks, some setbacks, but keep on going. I mean, don't let it set you back. I mean, if you look at people who have, for example, if they have a novel and they go to publishers, they have to go to over and over and over again to all these different people, and they get knocked back over and over and over again, hundreds and hundreds of times, and eventually they come back and someone says yes to them. And if you look at actors, they go to auditions and they go to hundreds of auditions over and over again, and they get knocked back so many times that they're just so used to it and becomes second nature, and eventually, hopefully, they get a yes, and then the career goes upwards from there. So don't let one or two or however many knockbacks stop you from going ahead. Keep going, and you are eventually going to have success with this. I can see that. You have the King of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, and the Wheel of Fortune. So you are going to get that success in that. I can see that. So the first card you have for your future is, yes, the Tower. So yes, this is what I was seeing. Setbacks. You might hear a great, big, fat, ugly no from someone around this proposal. I'm getting this feeling of you thinking, oh, this is a sure thing. You're going to probably go into some kind of meeting or something like that, and you're going to say, oh, I know I've got this. This is fine. I don't have to worry about this too much. I'm very confident. And then you're going to hear a no. So yeah, I think you're going to be feeling a little bit too sure of yourself. This is going to be a shock to you. I'm seeing, there's a crown on this card and it's being struck by lightning. So you might go into this meeting or something feeling like you're kind of a bit of a king, basically. But then your crown is going to be knocked off your head when you get this kind of rejection. I think this actually might be a good shock for you. It's going to be a lesson for you. I know you're not going to want to hear that, but that's what I'm seeing. Because I think it's going to teach you not to take things for granted, first of all, and it's going to teach you to be very well prepared as well, and to go in with things not assuming that you've got them. Go into things a little bit hungrier, a little bit kind of wanting it a lot more, not going in thinking, oh, I've got this, I don't have to worry about it. It's going to leave you going into everything that you go into just that little bit hungrier, just that little bit more kind of really, really wanting it. I think you know what I'm talking about. So it is going to be really good for you. I'm also seeing that you might be tempted to tell some people around you about this thing that you're trying to achieve, trying to manifest. And of course, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with telling people, of course. But if this resonates, try not to tell this to too many people. I'm just seeing someone might be asking you a lot of questions around this, around all of your kind of ups and downs. And it might just be a bit much. You might just want to be able to concentrate on this without trying to answer a whole lot of different questions about where you are at with all of this. So again, I'm seeing success here. I'm seeing eventual success. You're going to learn from this, and you are going to move forward, and you are going to move forward into a very positive place. I'm just thinking, I've just got an example of what happened to me. This happened to me when I was trying to go for something, apply for something that was very important to me, and I made the mistake of telling a whole lot of people. And they meant well. I'm not going to kind of criticize them. I really do appreciate them caring for me. But before the day of this big thing, this big test or whatever it was, they'd all ring me up. Oh, I hope it all goes well for you. I hope everything goes well. Oh, good luck, blah, 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 blah. Let me know when you finish. Let me know how it goes. And I was saying, oh, thank you, and all of this. But it actually made me more nervous than it normally would. And I went to this thing and I was really feeling nervous. And I was thinking, oh, if this all goes wrong, I'm going to have to tell them. They're going to ask me how it went, and I'm going to fail miserably. And then I'm going to have to tell them, and it's going to be even worse. And what happened with this test was I did fail, and I had to tell them, oh, I failed, and then of course they were, oh, don't worry, you can do it next time. Tell us next time. It'll be okay. The next time I didn't tell anyone. I just went and did it, and I passed. So, I mean, this might not be the experience for you, but for me, that was what happened to me. So sometimes even the thought of having to kind of answer people's questions. Oh, is everything okay? How are you now? Have you gotten this? Have you done this? Blah, blah, blah. How are you doing? Lots of, suggestions, lots of kind of advice that you might not need. Sometimes you just don't need that. Sometimes you just need to concentrate on what you're going to do. So the next card you have for your future is the Two of Pentacles. I think you are going to have some conversations with your partner. I think you're going to have some open and honest conversations with them, which I'm seeing that's what you had to do somewhere. I can't remember where I saw that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You are going to do that. And I think these are going to be very, very good, positive conversations. These are going to be very important conversations. And they won't just be face-to-face. I think they'll start out, you'll have some face-to-face conversations, but I think they're going to continue on over text message. You're both going to really, really benefit from these talks. And I think you're both going to be really open. You're both going to open up. I'm seeing a really, really good feeling around this. And I think after these talks, you're going to feel a lot more trust for this person. You're going to realize that, this person is nothing like your ex. You knew that anyway, but I think you're going to have just that little bit more assurance from them that that's the case. And you're going to have trust. You're going to give trust to them in these conversations, and they're going to give trust to you. And I'm actually seeing a long future for you if you keep on going in this open conversation with them, and you keep on having this very open communication. You're going to have a very long future with them. I'm seeing that with this infinity symbol. So the last card you have for your future is the Five of Swords. Yes. So yes, be very careful of telling people about this thing that you're trying to manifest. Choose who you want to talk to very, very carefully. I am seeing people asking you questions. I don't know whether you can or can't cope with that. You know what my view on that is. But I'm also seeing now something a little bit worse than that. I'm seeing some people who might be a little bit jealous, who might know that this is what you want to do. If you talk about this, it might get around to those people. It might get around to people who you might not want to know, them to know about whatever this is, if that makes sense. Someone might try to gossip, someone might try to cause problems for you. So keep all of this to yourself unless you know some people who you can 100% trust. Talk to them, but really, really keep quiet on this. I'm getting this very, very strongly that that's what you need to do. I know this is going to be on your mind a lot. It's very exciting, and you're going to want to tell a lot of people. I know that. But be very careful, be very, very selective about who you talk to about this. That's what I'm seeing.